Hey, so in this video, I want to give a quick high-level view of this GeoGebra project that I've been working on. So let's check out an example over here. So here's a quick example of the finished product of this GeoGebra project that I've been working on. And I needed to teach the students, if you look over here, the concept of parallel lines and a transversal. What type of angles are formed from those types of lines that intersect. So I could have done the typical have a page of text with a crappy visual for it, but I wanted to give the students some interactivity to really bring home the idea of this concept. So I researched this concept of GeoGebra, and I was able to learn the program, learn how to script it, and then bring it to my supervisors as an idea. And of course, they love this idea of putting it into our digital curriculum. So basically the idea is they can interact with the lines and stuff like that. And then if you click on these angles, the angles that correspond with the concept are the ones that blink. And then also I also coded in the text explanation of the angles as well, if that makes sense. All right, so let's do a quick overview of the code. All right, so here is the behind the scenes vanilla JavaScript that I'm putting inside GeoGebra to be able to create those effects. So the first thing is we have the initializer, which GeoGebra gives you. And in here, we are creating all the object listeners for those buttons that were in that interactive activity. All right, so these buttons correspond with each type of angle. So they're going to call a function here. And let's go check out one of those functions. So let's say they call alternate interior angles. They click on that button. So inside alternate interior angles, I'm feeding this function here. This is like the main function, and it's going to get, depending on which button they click on, it's going to feed an array into pulse angle function. So let's check out what that does. And it does a lot of crazy stuff here. So it receives those angles that we pass through. And then the main idea is that I shove it into a set interval. And why I create a set interval is I wanted to get that pulsing effect, right? So this thing's going to pulse 3 times. So it's looping through. And as long as pulse interval variable is less than 3, it just keeps setting the opacity. So what I did was I set the opacity value at 0, and then each loop through increases by 0.1, right? So that's basically the idea of how I got that pulsing effect. And then everything else, I don't think it's important. No, I mean, there's a bunch of different helper functions, like, just to keep it neat and clean, that once you click on one button, it hides everything from the previous button. And yeah, so if you have any questions, just let me know and I can talk more about this one.